This is just an example. This is maybe the best example I've ever seen of what blogging is not. This is juicy fruit gum, chewing gum in the States, and you can see exactly what happened. Somebody high up said, blogging is cool, blogging is in, we gotta do blogging. And it was given to the marketing department. The marketing department said, okay, we'll do a blog. That's what we'll do. Except there's a comedian who once said that airline food is like food that was designed by space aliens who had seen pictures of food but had never tasted it. Same thing with this. Blogging is done by somebody who's seen one but doesn't have the slightest idea what it's about. So they made up two characters who have a shared blog in which they argue about who loves juicy fruit gum more. And this went on for months and months. You know, and there's day 39. This is insane. So, blogs are also not journalism. This has been a big topic in the US. Are bloggers going to replace reporters? This is a blog. A blog is a blank form. It's like asking, are pieces of paper newspapers? No, not yet. Some of them will be. It depends what gets printed on them. And there are some bloggers who are doing the work of journalism. That's good. There's a tiny percentage of bloggers who are doing that. But most of us aren't. We're doing something different. Most of us aren't journalists. And meanwhile, this misses the real phenomenon. The blogosphere, the set of blogs, and then the journosphere, which I made up. The blogosphere is actually a common English word now. Is it clear what it means? So the world of blogs. It's a connected world is the important thing. So we have these two worlds. We know that they're intersecting. We know they're related. For one thing, bloggers get things to talk about from the mainstream media. I mean, a lot of blogging is reacting to whatever showed up. Bush allowed and now the Senate allows torture. Bloggers are going to get that from the media and going to talk about it. And journalists look at blogs for ideas and as a source of writers they can recruit. But the really important thing that's happening is not, those are okay, but the important thing, it has to do with what's happening to the editorial function, to who decides what makes it into the newspaper and how important it is, where it shows up on, is it front page news or not. So we have this tradition. Right now, the highest value in a newspaper is, in fact, its editorial function. You work your way up and you become an editor in a little closed room, and once a day you decide, this is news, this isn't. This is front page, this is back page. It's sites like digg.com, another one called Reddit, REDDIT.com, and many more are emerging, where users rank, they pull in a link to an article that they think is interesting, and then the readers get to rank it, and it goes up or down the list. So this is a user-generated front page. This will get much more sophisticated. Reddit is already talking about doing what I think is the next step, which is to intersect this with a social group. Because Digg and Reddit, both, the news tends to be fairly technical. It's for technologists, because that's who's going here. That's okay for technologists, but I'm actually more interested in knowing what my friend Ethan Zuckerman, who is an expert on Africa, what he's reading, and what my friend Rebecca McKinnon, who's an expert on Korea and China, what she's reading, and people who I don't know, including the editors of the New York Times. I'd like to know what they're recommending as well. And so intersecting this with a social group gets very interesting. And that is exactly what's going to happen.